The Queen Charge Hog Riders is personally one of my favourite strategies within Clash of Clans, and it is still very powerful. It works right up to the top level. In this video we will be breaking down a couple of 3-star attacks in Champions 1 of the Clan War Leagues by Golden X. Once we have broke the strategy down, you know exactly how to use it, we'll bring in a little bit of Let's Play. I will be taking the strategy into Legends League to have some fun, so without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty guys, so diving into the first attack, this one uses the Yeti bomb method, and I wanted to start with this attack because I feel it is a technique that many of you might be using as part of the hybrid that is Hog Riders and Miners, so it kind of makes sense. You should be able to transition across, whereas the attack you were sneak peeked at the start of this video with the Siege Barracks, we will break that one down after this one. Now what you want to try and get with your Yeti bomb, that is 2 Yetis, a Valkyrie and a Barbarian inside the battle blimp, is pathing for your queen in terms of that queen charge, luring the clan castle if appropriate, but also trying to get some value. Now on this base, Harry decides to send the battle blimp, you could use the stone slammer if appropriate, into this area, and what he's going to be able to get from that, notice, is the scatter shot. Absolutely huge for any style of attack where you have a mass of troops, i.e. the Hog Riders. A multi-inferno, ideal, and also bounce value onto any other of the defenses into this area. There's no real way to know exactly where the Yeti mites will bounce. It purely depends on where you drop them off. Now he is also going to be able to get in range of the enemy clan castle and pull the CC, which means once the defenses in this middle go down and the queen is deployed to 6 o'clock, all of the troops from the clan castle will come down here. Once the queen takes that out, she can go along her merry way to the town hall, and that is the start of this attack. So let's break that bit down. We've kind of explained exactly why Harry would do that, but we will continue to showcase parts that you will need to transition this into your gameplay as we watch the attack. So the first balloon that came forward was purely to test 4 black bombs in front of the battle blimp. If you are using the battle blimp, it can be a little bit weak, and you've got to take note of that. You need to get it into your spot. Harry decides to use a rage spell in this situation, and to huge effect. Not only did he take down the scattershot, multi-inferno, air defense, gets pretty much every defense in that area. Now you've got to know that if you do not use the rage spell, yes, you have an extra spell for later on, so that is ideal, but you might not get all the defenses in that area. It purely depends on how many you are trying to take down. The Yetis do have to take some value, some damage in order to then get value from the Yeti mites, so you might not always opt for a freeze, but the rage can help the Yeti mites take the defenses faster and therefore bounce to other ones. So it's a lava hound in the CC. It's not too hard for the queen to take out. She's out of range of any defenses. That's the beautiful thing about this technique. You can pull the CC and then there you go. If it's ice golems commonly in there, you can take them out of the way of defenses. You know that your queen is not going to get frozen in the center of the base. You might have recalled as well, rewind real quick if you missed it, but a baby dragon can easily create the funnel, and I'd highly recommend that troop for once you've used the Yeti bomb method, because you'll be able to clean up the trash buildings that are left over. Basically the Yeti mites will go to the defenses. We now have this clear path for the queen to go to the town hall, as already mentioned. You also want to take note of where black bombs will be and just slowly trickle in them balloons. You can see one coming in now in order to test for black bombs. Over by the town hall, look at all of the gaps on this base. There's got to be black bombs there. You wouldn't leave your town hall exposed like that with all of the gaps. You will be trying to defend a queen charge. So whenever you see that, you should be trying to send in that coconut loon. If there's no gap for a black bomb, then obviously you don't need to send one. Don't just send it for the sake of sending one. Try and logically look at the base and think, Will there be a black bomb there? But obviously if you're not sure, it is best to send one. Now you've got to set up the funnel on this other side, which is what the baby dragon does, to send the queen into this area. Otherwise, there's a huge chance that she would walk around the outside. That's what the base is designed to do. Moving across to the other side, we have the king taking out this area to provide pathing for the Hog Riders to come straight through, because there were a few defenses on that side, and as you notice, a Tesla farm then pops. However, not to worry, the Hog Riders can come in, and I really like the use of the Royal Champion down to the bottom actually. The reason she is in there with the Hog Riders is to take out the enemy heroes. In this case, the Royal Champion. This is where the hybrid has been really powerful, because you've got an extra hero on defense to think about that the Hog Riders cannot hit. Whereas since the Royal Champion came in at the bottom, she can easily take that out and then merge in with the Hog Riders, and they have clear pathing. This is one of the main things you're looking for, that clear channel where the Hog Riders will go straight through the defenses. But there is a nice little gap there. I've drawn the lines for you on the screen, but you will see straight away that that is roughly the width of the Grand Warden's aura. That's what, as a general rule of thumb, I always recommend, because then you have all of your Hog Riders in there and you also have room for your spells. Could have been a little bit earlier on the heal spell. In this example, the Hog Riders got very low and has to use the Grand Warden's ability, so it doesn't quite get through this back end area. However, when you have planned out your attack efficiently and you've chosen the right strategy for the base, you can pick apart the weaknesses, you can afford for a few things not to go perfect. So the queen was responsible for that entire left hand side. The Royal Champion continues to go. Now this is one thing that with the Hog Riders can be really good, is that your Royal Champion being in the middle of the Hog Riders really doesn't have to worry about taking too much damage, because the Hog Riders are absorbing all of that. Royal Champ can save onto that ability, and what might look in the end like the Hog Riders have gone down, you've still got the Royal Champion's ability. You've still got the Queen and the healers. In this case, Harry still had a rage spell, but do take note of trash buildings as well, particularly ones in the center. You may take a minor for if you're not sure you're going to get there, but do take some wizards for the outside as well. Now let's break down the other Hog Rider attack, the one that uses the siege barracks, before we get into Legends League. The next attack is by Chris, and I've got to give Chris a big shout out. He was tearing apart bases within this Clan War League, getting multiple 3 stars throughout the week, and he's someone that we may bring onto the channel as part of the Pro Tips series. If you guys remember, I used to always do this. It has been probably about 2 months since we last did a Pro Tips episode where we get one of these expert attackers in to really go into depth and explain what is going on, what their thought process was, and whilst it's very in-depth for the attack, it brings that different dynamic. Be sure to leave me a like on the video if you would like to see them in the future, and also be sure to let me know why in the comments. Obviously, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, I'd recommend you subscribe, and you can also turn on the notification bell if you do want to get notified when any of my videos go live. We try and bring the educational content, we bring some entertainment in there as well. Obviously, we try not to be super serious, bring the let's play, but we like to bring a variety of education across different town hall levels. So for this one then, getting into it, Chris starts off with the Queen Charge straight into the town hall. Now this is a common theme that I seen throughout the Queen Charge Hog Rider attacks that I watched in this CWL season, is that most of the time, the town hall was the focus of the queen. There's a black bomb hitting the healers. Definitely a sneaky one, that, but again, just take note of where they might be and when you might want to take the balloons in. So the queen being able to reach the town hall in this scenario is ideal for Chris to take that out with the Queen Charge early on and also lure the clan castle. Now I do like that Chris makes sure to be watching the attack. So notice the Tesla sniper, hitting the healers, sending in a loon, and then a Hog Rider in a second as well, to finish that off and try and protect the healers. Whenever the attack is unfolding, you've got to be somewhat flexible and adaptable onto what is actually happening. So the Queen was able to take out the 3 ice golems out of range of anything else. Now she can move forward onto the enemy Queen. Now this is something that with Hog Rider attacks you've always wanted to try and take down. The Hogs cannot attack enemy heroes. It's no different for Town Hall 13. The only difference is that the Royal Champion offers you a different method, whereby you can send the Royal Champion in and she can actually take down the heroes mid-raid. But you don't really want to rely on that for Queen, Royal Champion, King. That's still a lot of damage on the Hogs. That's one of the reasons that miners can actually be quite good in there as well. However, if you can take that Queen down, it's highly recommended. Now again, for the Hog Riders, a lot of it is about pathing. So the Queen is wiping out the right hand side of the base here, and the Siege Barracks with the Barbarian King takes down the left. So take a look at now the pathing for the Hog Riders. Again, the Grand Warden's aura, you want to try and have it that width. So moving through the center of the base, which is where it's most dangerous, it's around about the width of the Grand Warden's aura here, look. So the ability should get most of the Hog Riders. You do not necessarily need to have that tight pack straight away, but you do have to be cautious of that if you've got a wider pack. What I mean by that is Chris brings Hog Riders from the left, some here, and he's got a good spread of them, look. Now what that means is it will take out all of the buildings on the outside and they will clump together into the center. Otherwise, they'll start just going around the base straight away. You've got no control over them. You've got to somewhat channel their energy in. Now also, what you need to take note of, obviously at Town Hall 13, is the scatter shots. They are huge. Absolutely huge for Town Hall 13, especially Hog Riders. If you can take one of them out with that Queen Charge, or with the Yeti Blimp method, might be a good option, go for it, as you've seen in the first attack. In this one though, if you can use your spells to get through them, then it's okay, but you've got to be using your spells to get through them, and you've got to appreciate that the more spells you use on the scatter shot, the less you then have for Hog Riders elsewhere. And stuff can still take your hogs down. Maybe you get a Tesla farm at the other side of the base. There's 3 multi-infernos, remember, potentially. You've got to plan out carefully. So a freeze spell is nicely used to get a scattershot and the multi-inferno. Meanwhile, the Grand Warden's ability is used through the other one. Now, potentially that Grand Warden's ability was a little early. Maybe I could rewind back and see exactly what was happening there. Maybe it was timed on the Eagle Artillery or something like that. I might have missed it there. But it looked like 2 scatter shots, one was frozen with the multi, the other one, the heal, was on the Hogs, so maybe the Grand Warden's ability could have been saved, but you get the point, guys. You've got to have a plan through the scatter shot, and I also like the reinforcement from the other side of the base here. It doesn't always have to be all Hog Riders. If there's cannons on the outside, you might see mortars over there as well. You might take a balloon or 2 for that. And again, Royal Champion's ability saved until the end with the clean up troops, and that's what that miner is for, to try and get into the center. So make sure you are not time failing with Hog Riders. It's a little bit frustrating. It might happen in Legends League when I get out into Legends League, but try your best not to, guys. You don't want to have the gutting feeling of taking out the base and leaving like a builder hut. An army camps. It's not a nice feeling. But 2 brilliant attacks there. Hopefully you've got a little bit of an idea of how to use the Hogs. Now, let's have some fun. We'll try and get some 3 stars, granted, but we'll have some fun in Legend League. So this is the Queen Charge Hog Rider army that I have cooked up. I just literally sat and thought about what I used to use. Any of you guys that used to watch me do the Queen Charge Hog Rider at Town Hall 12, this is relatively the same army, but hopefully I'll have that flexibility. So I am taking the Yeti bomb method in my clan castle, just in case there's any bases. We can really take advantage of the battle blimp, but also I have the other siege machines. My only way of getting into the base is my wall breakers, but I do have the wall wrecker as well. Let's get into it. Let's see what we get. First base is not that well upgraded, we've got to be honest. So, what can we do here? We've got 2 single target Inferno towers. I think if we were to Yeti blimp the town hall, we might then be able to use the queen charge over the other side, although there is 4 air defense there, but I don't want to queen charge the single Inferno. Grounded expos are not ideal either. I think we should maybe just get rid of the town hall early on, guys. Let's do that. So, actually no, let's not do that. What do I want to do? Let's do something. Let's use the queen in order to start with the balloon. So I completely changed my mind. Didn't have a clue what I wanted to do there. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So the healers come in. Okay. Let's use the king on the side here. We're going to get Teslas. I know that. Queen is taking some damage, so let's use a rage. Let's use the battle blimp. Let's use the battle blimp. Okay, let's freeze that town hall. Try and let everything else get in. Now let's wall break this area. Freeze. Okay, so the wall breaks got through. So my queen can now access the town hall. Yetis did take down the town hall, which is good. My queen can access the multi is what I meant. And then I think we should bring the Hog Riders in from the top. So let's use another loon. Let's rage. Let's poison. Another loon to test. We can actually get war... they went to the wrong side, guys. Okay, Baby Dragon's doing a good job. Now let's use the hogs. And do we use the Royal Champ? Yeah, let's use it. Let's use them. Okay, so Hog Riders are going around the single. Not to worry. Let's use the heal. Boost them up. Van Warden's ability. Oh my word. Royal Champ's ability as well. We're not going to get through the single Inferno though. That's not ideal. We've still got a rage. Oh, let's use a heal on the hogs. I think we might rage the Hog Riders as well, just to try and power through this. We've got enough in terms of cleanup. We've got a minute left. It's not as smooth as the other attacks, granted. Let's use some wizards around the outside to try and help. Hogs are doing okay. That single Inferno could be the death of us. It could be. Come on, hogs. Take down the wizard tower. Okay, wizard. Trying to just clear around the outside. The Royal Champion's going to be a bit of an issue. We can get a wizard. Let's actually get 2 wizards onto that. We've got 35 seconds, guys. I'm not sure we're going to get this because we've got the enemy queen. We got 30 seconds. Come on, queen. Hurry up and get around there. We need the queen's ability. It's not going to happen. Wizards will go down to the Royal Champ. I can't use the queen's ability until we get to the single, really, can we? Because the queen's going to go down. And I think that the single Inferno will be left standing. We've got to use the ability to try and push the percentage. Oh, it's not ideal, but it's not going to happen for us. We'll take down the enemy queen. We might sneak 99%. I think it's going to be 98. 99 it is! How much health? It doesn't tell us. Oh, maybe you guys can watch the replay and let us know. 99, that's the first time I've used the Queen Charge Hog Riders since Town Hall 12. It wasn't flawless, let's be honest, because it wasn't a maxed out base, but I'm relatively happy with that. I don't think that's nothing too much to grumble about. But guys, we did indeed use the drag bat in Legends League. That was yesterday. I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. A similar thing, we tend to break down the strategies first before I do a little bit let's play. So you get the education and the entertainment. But if you want to see that, I'm going to link it on your screen right now. Go ahead and check that one out. I'm sure you will enjoy it. We did get a 3-star with a drag bat. Spoiler alert, we got a 3-star. I'll see you guys across there. If not though, I will catch you again tomorrow. Until then, have a good one.